LSU and Texas A&M. Man, oh man, for Texas A&M to go into LSU at night and just completely dominate them
Mhm.
and blow them out. And now we're seeing that this could be the end of Brian Kelly at LSU. And it's been kind of a tumultuous run for him. Some successes at times, but really just not what LSU has been looking for and what with the standards that they have there. And it was always kind of a weird fit from the beginning, with the fake Southern accent he was doing at their initial press conference or the pep rally or whatever when he was introduced, and or was it halftime of a basketball game, something along those lines, where he came out and gave that
Right.
speech in a Southern accent. It was just super weird, super
M-
awkward, super cringe,
My
and it's really
family.
never
Mm.
quite he's just never quite felt right there. Never quite felt like that was a good fit, at where he was at LSU. And you were seeing, so this tweet came out, sources have told On3 Sports that LSU position coaches have been sent home from the facility with Brian Kelly's future with the Tigers an unknown right now. So what do you think, man? What do you think, Brian? This is the end of Brian Kelly, and could he be an option for somebody like a Michigan State?
I think it's yeah, I think everything you said is true. I think whether he finishes out the season or not is to be seen, but I do think he's done at LSU. Um and I agree with you on everything. He didn't seem like a good fit, but the reason he went to LSU, I'm sure there was a financial part, but
Yeah,
LSU won't have the grade requirements and the academic requirements that Notre Dame had, right? And I'm sure I think he felt pretty limited about what their ceiling was at Notre Dame. And so, and again, LSU, like obviously, think of all the coaches that have had success there: Les Miles, Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron, and like you go there just a recruiting hotbed, and it sounds like a perfect fit for whoever, but it's obviously not so far. And you could probably argue like he's had moments since he's been there already, and they probably felt like by now they should, right, they should have been playing for a national championship. Hasn't happened, and then again you lose the number one recruit in the country, like that happened.
yeah,
Was it his fault? I mean, again, he Michigan gave him, $10 million or whoever, right? And so, but still, though, you kind of felt like, that's not good. Like that's almost the beginning of the end. I felt when that happened. It's like,
yeah.
that's hard to recover. And so I do think, with his local ties at, Grand Valley State and Central Michigan, that I'm sure if Michigan State moves on from Jonathan Smith, which we think they will, I think that's a natural conversation, no brainer that you're going to have at that point.
Michigan State as well as Penn State. I got to imagine Penn State's going to be thinking
Yeah.
about him too. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's going to satisfy the fan base at Penn State, but again, we talked about this too a couple episodes ago. Like, what will satisfy Penn State? You let James Franklin go. He's a great coach. He's did great things for Penn State. Like, I don't
So
know
Penn,
if they would look at Brian Kelly as an upgrade.
well, not just that. I wonder if Brian Kelly wants to go from one pressure cooker to the other like that. Like to me, Michigan State seems perfect. Like you can only go up from there. Like he'd be almost like a savior, or at Penn State it'd be all right. You better win now, right?
Yeah.
But Brian Kelly won't have his. He'll have his share of offers. He'll have his share of conversations. He just will. I know, like schematically, he's really good and he's produced some good quarterbacks and great teams. Obviously, undefeated seasons at Cincinnati and Notre Dame until the national championship game, the one year against Alabama. But he definitely is a guy who it looks like he's toned down his demeanor on the sideline, right? And I'm not going to name drop or anything like that, but I do have friends that worked for him at Central Michigan that just said, "Holy heck, man, he's a riot, and he gets after his staff." But I mean, the dude knows football, right? And he's been successful, and so I think there's so many programs that would, so many quarterbacks that would want to go play for him. Which, again, if I'm Michigan State, like I think we've said it before. I know growing up, I just felt like whenever it was a coaching change, I mean, granted, they got Nick Saban, but at the time, Nick Saban was an NFL coordinator. He wasn't necessarily um, the elite of the elite coaches, right? And again, he turned into Nick Saban really after he left Michigan State. But like Michigan State, Brian Kelly ties, like that's, if you're a state fan, like that's pretty awesome. Like
I have a
you
huge
are nationally recognize you are on the radar right now. And I think that would be great for Michigan State.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to
Mhm,
see it.
mhm,
You know, come back. Obviously, we talked about the ties that he has to the state of Michigan. I would think that brings so much, like you said, national relevance to Michigan State, and brings
mhm,
so much more juice to the rivalry of Michigan State and Michigan.
mhm.
And man, I'd love to see it. I'd absolutely love to see it. But you talked about how Brian Kelly leaving Notre Dame because the academic standards and things like that at LSU might make it a little easier to compete for a national championship. Well, Freeman's having no struggles.
I'm
He
with you.
took
No,
Notre
I'm
Dame to
with
the
you.
national
No, I told
championship
you.
game last year.
I'm with you. Yep, I'm with you. And that's it's funny though, like, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Like Marcus Freeman, he was a coordinator on that staff, and then like he stuck around after Brian Kelly left, and like to him, man, that's like dream job. Where Brian Kelly, it's obvious, it wasn't. And so you're right though, he's doing just fine.
Yeah, and I
Hmm.
don't think Notre Dame fans are wishing to have Brian Kelly
Not
back
at
at all.
all.
I think they're
Mm-mm.
pretty darn happy with how things turned out there
Mm-mm.
for the Fighting Irish. So
Wait, Dan, we have some breaking news. I just read a tweet from Adam Schefter of all people that Brian Kelly was informed earlier today that he's going to be dismissed, and the
wow.
team knows, and they're just trying to figure out how they're going to progress going forward and how they're going to make the
So
exit happen. So,
LSU and Penn State
yep,
are open
yep,
positions,
yep,
and James Franklin and Brian Kelly are
and
on the
and
open
F-
market for
Flor-
coaches.
Florida State, like three teams that are nationally recognized
Florida,
caliber.
not Florida State, Florida.
Excuse me, Florida. Yeah, get on it, Michigan State. Get on it.
Yeah, yeah,
Get on it.
absolutely.
Let me see. Yeah. So just yep, crazy time. Yep, here we go. Per ESPN's Pete Thamel, LSU coach Brian Kelly was informed of the intention to dismiss him earlier today. The school is
Wow.
expected to inform the team of this development tonight. Talks about the terms of his departure are expected to continue. Just crazy. Just crazy.
Well,
Yep.
there it is. Yeah.
There it
I mean,
is.
Michigan
Yeah.
State should be on it.
Different.
I mean,
I
making the
think that,
backdoor calls
like,
right now.
and I don't think they won't be. Like, I
They
think they
should
will
be.
be.
They
They
absolutely
should.
should be.
Yeah, absolutely should be. You wonder if Brian Kelly wants to come back to this area. But like I said, a lot less pressure. I think it just makes
I mean,
sense.
where else is he going to go?
I mean,
Does
like
he
we said,
stop
yeah,
coaching? Does
we
he end
like we
coaching?
said,
Does he
no,
go
I
into
don't know. It
broadcasting?
could
I
it could
don't
be
think
like
that.
it could be like a lot of guys. They take a year or two away and figure things
Maybe,
out and wait
but
for that
he's
right
not
job.
getting any
But
younger though either.
no, there's that. There's yeah, man, a lot of layers to it. I think Michigan State would be natural if it comes to that.
I think it'd be
I think
great. I really do.
you're a quarterback recruit. Like in Michigan State hires Brian Kelly. He's immediately in the top five. You just, right? Like especially in the Midwest, you're immediately thinking, "Oh, okay, that dude's helped me get to the NFL."
Well, and then also you got to think of assistant coaches. He's going to bring a great
Mm,
staff with him,
yep,
and it just
yep,
yeah, and it changes the entire vibe of everything going around Michigan State immediately.
yep,
Immediately, things
yep,
change.
yep,
The whole just an incredible amount of excitement would be infused in the
yeah,
football program overnight if
no doubt.
they were able to make
Yeah,
that happen. So
yeah, no
I
doubt.
think we're both on board with that. Let's make it happen, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Let's go after it. And I mentioned earlier, last past conference we did, I talked about like, maybe they should go a little bit, like because they're going to be playing three coaches, and to get Brian Kelly, it's not going to be cheap. But
Right.
man, it just seems like an opportunity for them that they got to at least explore and
Yeah,
see if they can get the money together to make it happen. I got to imagine the alumni would be like, yeah, let's do it, man.
for sure.
I'll do
Yeah.
whatever it costs.
It's
Let's get a top tier coach in here.
in college football right now, it is kind of the survival of the fittest. Like if you're not putting up, like I don't think money should be an option. I don't think money will be an option at Michigan State. You got to put up.